day. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole with Siren Buddha Medicine. Hi, Joe. Much love to you and yours. I'm going to be talking about some energy points where where energy connects. These are things that I've already talked about on lives before, but we're going to be putting some pieces together. There's been some conversation lately about chakras, and I'm just going to update some of the information that I've already been given and hopefully make some more connectivity, put some more connectivity to it. So I'm glad you're here for that. This is a body clock. You know, we're going to be talking about energies, and this is a body clock, which I always found fascinating. Can you see that? Yes, you can see that. That's a body clock. So what it is that at certain times of the day, your body goes through these different transitions. And so people who know about health, not everybody, certain people, this is the Chinese body clock, okay? So there is a science where they know that when it comes to the body cleaning itself out, that there's certain times that your body is on a cycle. So here we have, and this one's just a little different. I'm holding this up so you just know what I'm talking about, looking at my phone, which is a different chart. I placed two charts on my Facebook below this live if you just want to peek at what they look like up close. Okay, so say you wake up in the morning time about 3 a.m. That's about 2. Say you woke up 2 or 3 o'clock. Okay. See, now I get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, but according to this, 2 o'clock in the morning is a deep sleep, detox, blood, reset, and recovery. Okay, that's the liver. And then that 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, you get into the lungs, and that's deep sleep, dreams, memory, detox, and lungs. And at 5 to 6 o'clock is the large intestines. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm not reading this to you to teach it to you as I'm learning it, okay? Because this is just actually something that I took from my research and put on a shelf in my mind, is a recollection that your body is on different cycles. Now, you could take what you leave and need the rest. It depends on what you want to specialize in regards to your research. But the reason why I started looking at this chart was in regards to energy cycles. See, I was looking at reflexology, and I was looking at acupuncture, and what it crystallized into for me was these points where energy meet, because it was about healing. So one thing that I found interesting in my research is that I could be here in Connecticut and somebody could be in China, and the time is different. So I got to thinking, if at 12 o'clock noon, my heart is absolutely going to be into blood circulation and high energy, okay? Fire, in the fire zone, see, they have theirs even broken down into the chi zones. This is Tao medicine. So, if I go to China and it's at 12 o'clock and there's a time change difference, is my whatever is still going to be doing whatever it's supposed to be doing here in the same way that it was there. If it's on a cycle, if there can be no change. Because, like, you know, if you fly on a plane, there could be a day difference, hours difference, so that would throw this cycle off, right? So that leads me to, oh well, it said an internal error has occurred. That's funny. Bear with me, because my devices don't want to act right when I go to use them. So I have to fight my phone to get you this chart. Yeah, so it got me thinking that your body does different things. It's supposed to be on a lockdown wherever you are and why. So on this earth grid, wherever you are, if it says 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then your body is locked into that grid of energy and supposed to be doing whatever it does at that particular time, according to the body clock. Now, are we on the same page with that? And the reason why I was focused on that is also because of this. This is a, forgive this phone. This is a another clock, and it's an astrological clock. You can download these things on your phone, pretty much for cheap or nothing at all. And what it does is it'll show you the time for your zone that you're in, and it's Saturn time, as you just Jupiter time. And the keywords, it'll tell you what cycle you're on, where you are according to that time, and that's the astrological energy that's present and available right now, is Jupiter. So, according to the body clock, being 3:30. Oh, that's off. The time is totally off. Oh, no, it isn't. Yeah, from 3:30 to 4:22 is Jupiter time. The bladder. They use military time on this clock. Alright, so you can go by both of them, and then you can see the lineup of astrological energies. Now, this is something that I'm learning to incorporate in my life, but as you can see, you know, you really got to pay a lot of attention to it and put a lot of energy to it to be focused on, okay? Which I didn't want to do. That's why I didn't do it. And I took the information and I stuck it and put it up on the shelf. But I wanted to show you that in order to show you this. Now, on these charts, each time is given a color. That color is just symbolic of a vector, okay? So in your body, we're talking fractal now. Your body is a model of the planet, of a larger model of you, okay? And on certain times, your body is on a cycle that can even be determined by the body clock, but it's totally scientific. People use this, and it's like one of those things that you're not supposed to be able to detour. You cannot escape the energy. Or can you? Got me thinking about those people who can control their bodily functions, like Navy SEALs, People who are trained in special ops, yogis, Buddhas, people who meditate to a certain degree where they're able to overcome their own body's rhythms and functions, where they can slow down their heart rate, allow themselves to remove themselves from hunger, from negative thoughts, to remove themselves, to put themselves in a meditative state where they can slow down their body's rate and functions. Okay? So these people are capable of telling the body clock, freak out of here. I'm not listening to that right now. I'm gonna float underwater for longer than what's supposed to be humanly possible for the normal person. I'm just gonna float here and meditate and slow down my bodily functions for whatever reason. You know, and pop a bottle of water a lot later than what you perceived that I could, because I can. You know, so that's breathing and all that stuff. You know, they're able to shut down their whole body's clock and control it, which is what I was leading into. Now this is my own personal chart that I have been working on, which is the reason why this information that I had stuck on the shelf comes into play. And so, although I know about that information only comes into play for me personally in regards to the way energy flows. That's what I'm most interested in, is how energy flows and where is it flows and where are the nodes, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how you tap in. And one way to tap in is through fractality, through connectivity, okay? Energy never dies, it only transforms itself. So, this is the same thing. It's a body clock, but it's actually an energy clock. There we go. We plug back in again. We're okay now. Each one of these sectors has an organ, and the organ is on a clock. The organ is synonymous with energies. And these energies are synonymous with, didn't want to use the word demon, but yeah, demon. We're like computers, meaning that we take in information and absorb information, and we could be programmed, but we're organic, so we have feelings. But we're on a cycle that's kind of like do not detour, like a computer. You set it and it doesn't detour. You set the clock. We go from 12 hours to 24 hours. We do that every day. The sun rises and sets, right? You wake up and you breathe, you drink, you pee, you eat, you expel. So as far as function is concerned, things are set and we're like a computer. And depending on where you are, brings an energy, and this is fractal, okay? If it's 7 or 9 o'clock a.m. and my stomach is on a cycle where it could be cleansed or nurtured in some way, that's the vector of energy for that. And it's tied into, and I showed you how scientifically they have the devices to show you how it's tied into a sector of energy, okay? Look, if my phone will act right. Here we go. 7 to 9 a.m. 7 to 9 a.m. Okay, Venus. 7 to 9 a.m. Stomach. Okay, vectors. Stay with me. Now we're into the fractal field. Okay? We know that a certain time, why? Okay? This is where I started thinking about this is where my research comes in. Okay? Demons. Spiritual energies. Now, at certain times of the day, that got me thinking, okay, so not so much what time, like why is my stomach working a certain way at a certain time. And that's why in this chart, I have, that's my phone acting up. Well, I can't get in it because so many weird things are just like, okay. So in the middle of this, you see the body clock. As this chart comes out, you see the zodiacs. I have the zodiacs here. And they are on a time, just like Venus is on a time. There'd be so much information in my head that I write things down and I take notes. And I begin to see how things overlap when it came to different systems. Not just explaining deities, how the names changed, and explaining how things work, but our information was layered, like over here was this and over here was that, but it was pretty much like a vector talking about similar things is what I realized. I wish I could show you my chart from the direction that I'm looking at it, but I'm limited in my function of electronics. So all right, we got Libra. I wish I had brought my magnifying glass down here. That's what I should have did. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, stomach. Here's the lineup that I'm trying to jumble this big chart. Okay, this is why I made my little chart here. This is the body clock. Here is stomach. Here is stomach, Taurus. Jupiter, line up. The bull. Denote. Cell salts. Na2. Yeah, Na2SO4. Liver, gallbladder, neck, throat, cerebrum, sulfate, sodium. I'm still in the cell salts. What's good for that part of the body during that sector for that time. So this vector, this is a vector. This slice of pie as a whole. If this is a whole and this is you, can you see? That's a person. I don't know if you're able to see this whole chart. Let me see if I can get you. I showed you this before. I know. Come on, you. Yeah. Yay! Okay, yeah. All right. This is good. Whew. That's much better. Here we go. This is how this works. So, yeah, we were at the stomach here. Okay? There's the cell salts, planetary lineup, the body part that it lines up to, the cell salt that helps it, and then that was the vector here. That's the demon. There we go. So you see, oops, those are the energies that are roaming around. Ooh, excuse me. And then those are some of the energies that are roaming around. Where are we? Looking through here again. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right. Do you see that? He causes sore throat, awful. Now I'm learning these demons. There's, oh my gosh. This is my practice run explaining this to you like this too. Okay. Let me explain this to you. Okay. What did she do here? This is what I did here. Everything is on a loop, okay? Because it's fractal. So you're a fractal body of the world, a mini model of a macro model. We've shared this before, okay? Each one of your organs is synonymous with energies that are synonymous with planetary energies, which is the reason why it affects us no matter where we are, okay? Now there's some other things that are intervening here, which is the reason why I mentioned the time change and stuff, you know. But where you are on the planet definitely has a change in you in the same way that where you are on the planet would depict whether you are predominantly a heart or a leg or a lung or a spleen. Do you see what I'm saying when it comes to the map? Now our map is literally upside down and backwards. The map is not the way it's supposed to be at all, okay? So when it comes to looking at the body clock and the way systems go, I looked at energy, okay? And the way that it still tells the truth in the way that it synonymously lines up with the organs that are lined up with these astrological energies that are actually affected by sound, by particular sounds, which is the reason why frequencies can help tune certain vectors or parts of the body. Now, I've showed you this book before that I use in my research. I love this book. Now what I did was, this is called, this section I use is called, oh my gosh, I have so many notes, they're falling out while I'm trying to show you something else. Deacons of the Zodiac. Okay? So, can you see what I did there? Deacons of the Zodiac. 12 zodiacs, the body clock, 12 hours in the day. Each section is a vector. Each vector has a deacon. A deacon, basically a demon or an authority. In the Bible, it speaks about how when we disobeyed, we wanted a family. And we wanted a king. We wanted to be like everybody else. And we didn't appreciate who we were. This is my interpretation, I'm using my own words here. So the Most High, according to my biblical research, and I'm not giving scripture, I'm giving the essence of the word, is that we're given over to a reprobate mind. So what it is whatever it is that we have an issue with, we leave that door open to be consumed and taken over by it. Okay? And there's 24 hours in a day. In the Bible, it tells a story about the rich man. Guy came to Jesus and he says, you know, I want to follow you. I got all my ducks lined up, everything. You know, I'm a righteous man. I don't lie, I don't steal, I don't blah, blah, blah. Everything is lined up. Mwah. I'm here for you. I want to be there. You know, I want to be in that number. And so Jesus, as depicted in the Bible, what do you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, by whatever spiritual system that you have, the Most High Son said, all right then, drop that wealth, leave the bag. And the guy was like, leave the bag? Are you kidding me? What do you mean leave the bag? We can't do that. And so the Most High has a way of being able to find that one thing that we need to be worked on. We all need to work on something, and that's why for me it's about betterment, not about perfection. Because we're giving over to the reprobate mind means that these demonic energies, or these energies, are allowed to come in and lead you astray according to your own desire. And so it's like the Most High says, oh, you don't want to follow my will and I made you for me? Oh, okay. I'll help you then. You want to be all infatuated with that thing over there? Well, I'm going to send this deacon, this demon, this angel over there to help you out. You know? You want to be a hustler, a player, a pimp, a liar, a thief. You know what I'm saying? You want to do all these things over here that you desire. And this vector, I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to send you some help. And I'm going to let you enjoy it where you think that that's okay. That's what you're supposed to be doing. I'm going to give you a reprobate mind where you can't even see how that is not what you're supposed to be doing, because if you don't want to help me over here, you're going to help me over there. You can get with this or you can get with that. But you're still going to do what I told you to do. If that makes any sense to you. You're still going to help. You're still going to help the family. You're going to help spank the other kids or children. Or you're going to help heal the other children. But you're going to be aware of yourself. You're not going to come to me like you don't have any kind of situation. So that's what I was hearing basically, is that all of us have these spaces in us that need to be refined, worked on. And there's 24 hours in a day. And within these 24 hours in a day, according to this book of angels, there's these deacons. And these deacons have authority over that energy. In the same way that your stomach is going to do what it's got to do. Your spleen is going to do what it's got to do. Okay? You get my drift, right? Your lower intestines and your upper intestines, they're going to do what they got to do when they're told to do them. Where that I drew the spine. Studying with Montatia online. And learning to visualize, to conceptualize better, to concentrate it, or you liquidate it, or you, what do? Thin it out, right? To concentrate on different body parts of the vector in order to cleanse, to transmute and heal. I don't like the word heal though. To transmute and make whole certain energies within the body. That by visualizing it helps you to concentrate better, helps you to pierce through that energy, to connect to that energy more. Okay, like the more you know, the easier it is to get there, because then you're sure. It cuts through the white noise and the static. Okay. So now we've taken something linear like time and moved it into a spiral. The zodiac on a clock that your body is actually connected to. The same energies, it's responding to the energies that are around you, because we're connected to the astral energies, as I showed you. In the same way, that's why, because we're connected to these energies. Energy never dies, it only transforms itself. It's still transmuting. In the same way that if I blow really lightly on the back of your neck, probably would like, hi, because that part is really, really sensitive. But if you're moving through New York City and people are bumping each other and it's a windy day, and I blow on your jacket on your arm, probably won't notice it unless there's an issue, you know what I'm saying? Unless that's a different dimension to the air, because it has a smell or a funk or a sound. Energy doesn't die. Sometimes it carries other aspects to it. Feelings and emotions, right? Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not affecting us. These are subtle energies, astral energies, and these subtle energies affect us. This blow. Is our ancestors. Good day, beloved. Hey, family. This blow, the subtle energy that becomes a part of the trees, the essence of the environment that we're in, you know, from our great-grandparents being buried, from the trauma, from the happiness, you know, from the children that were born, from the hopes, all that is in the land. Why would the Indians or the natives have a sacred space, sacred places? Why are our sacred places and sacred things being totally violated? It's because they matter. Nobody cares about what doesn't matter. We're the one thing that nobody cares about that everybody's got their freaking nose in. Isn't that funny? Anyway. So we're on the spiral. Okay? The clock, which was this way, is now this way. And it's alive. It's breathing through us. And the energies that it has is coming from somewhere, not nowhere. Even though we don't particularly see it, we're interacting with it and it's there. Like we're breathing it in. We're feeling it. You know what I'm saying? And in the same way that has a thread, the energies of the land, the ancestral spirits and that sort, it's also in the blood. Jung, Dr. Jung, in psychology, he added that to his research. He was a ex-student of Freud, and they all stole, actually, they hijacked that from other cultures, from our ancient systems and stuff like that, where these things weren't so segmented, because we knew that the essence of what you carried inside of you, we knew that this whole thing was fractal. Okay? I want to show you. I'll also study this. This is the dance of the Hebrew alphabet. This research is awesome, from Bill Harper. Thank you, Bill Harper. This is just an idea that I'm giving you.
name is Stan Tenen, and I'm the Director of Research for the Meru Foundation. And I'm assuming that most of you already know that.
Mount Meru.
This is an update of some recent work. For the first time, I think we are able to show a provisional presentation of how the letters are related to hand gestures. And if you recall, that's very important for our thesis. The basis of one of the most important ideas that we have is that the text of Genesis and perhaps other canonized portions of canonized text, sacred texts, record letter-by-letter meditations. And if you recall, in the past, we were basing all of our letters on shadows of this shape, which we've identified as a flame initially. We also identified it, put that down, as the model of a fruit, with this being the seed, this being the fruit tree, and this being the volume of the fruit, such as an apple, and thus fitting the description in the introduction to the Zohar of a fruit tree, which is here, yielding fruit.
Did you guys see that?
Whose seed is in itself. And this is a model, as I've said on the Matrix of Meaning for Sacred Alphabets tape, of naked recursion, a minimum geometric representation of a propensity of the universe to propagate itself, to recur, to re-embed itself, to put a new seed capable of growing into a tree with new fruit inside of every fruit on the tree.
What?
Continuous self-embedment. As we know mathematically, self-embedment is a model for hyperdimensionality, and it's part of our thesis that hyperdimensional mathematical concepts relate to the space in which consciousness takes place.
What?
But there's a major problem with it.
Okay, so what that guy said. That's what I've been showing you is the hyperdimensionality and a naked recursion, okay? Intention. The Most High said he would give us over to a reprobated mind. Most of us are not getting it, that what's happening to us can only happen to us when we step out of the alignment of the Most High. It was like a marriage, and we didn't want that. We wanted to be like everybody else. Look at you now. You know what I'm saying? We're like everybody else. We've got to, you know, mix and match and do whatever it was that we wanted to fulfill and satisfy, that we thought we were missing, even though all things came from us. We were still looking outside of ourselves instead of doing our inner reflection. Okay? And we never really did learn to appreciate ourselves and what we came from and who we really are. Supposed to be set aside to teach others and to be high priest and priestesses. Can't do that unless we learn to transmute the lower energy into a higher state. By doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, we don't get to do that. We just get to be like everybody else. So being like everybody else, we become subjected to what everybody else comes to. And they had false gods. They had little g's. They had demons to govern them and rule over them, until we decided to listen to the Most High. And then that's when we realize that we have one creator. One creator that made all the rest of them. It's like you can get with this or you can get with that. And even those, in my research, I see that even the demons know who the boss is. And at the end of the day, Brother Seven said, at the end of the day, the king and queen, the pawns, all those, the rook, they all go back into the box. I wanted to know who's the box. You know what I'm saying? Who's the box? Who's got the box? What? Who made the game? And we're all playing. That's where the essence is. That's, you know, the intention. That's what's watching. That's what's watching all of our intention. Okay? And so, language came about from watching light and shadow, night and day. Intention is the vector, it's what changes intention. Your concentration is on your intention. Concentration is what brings that energy through the vector in order to work or not work within our lives. So if we're not compliant, the Most High can't cover us on this grid in this body if we're not using spirit first. We're covered under this body of land. This 666 is covered if we want to let the Most High in, because He made a family. Then when we reject what we are, we became subjected to the deacons, the demons, the little G's, those who govern the life force energies, and who gets to change that are, like I mentioned, those people who spend the time to learn to control their own bodies, thoughts, intentions, deeds. Perhaps special ops wasn't the best example to use because they're trained to kill. Ninjas. One man's problem is another man's help. Depends on the way you look at it. However, wanting to be a warrior to fight for good is not necessarily a bad thing, because like I said, the Most High uses all things to the glory to bring. It's like I made a statement and I told you, you know when your mama and daddy tell you something and they said, I said, and that's it. That's gonna be it. And that's the word. That's it. That's what I said. I brought you. You know that you know what it is, right? I brought you in this world. I heard you guys say it. Say it. I brought you in this world, and that's right, I'll take you out. Did your mama ever tell you that, or your pa? I brought you in this world, and I will take you out. If we're carrying the essence of that, if your mama and this little carbon body has the audacity to say that to you, what more does our real creator have to say about this whole thing? You know? So, Solomon knew that the Most High's people had the right to govern over the demons. But he stepped out of line, fell out of alignment, and that's how even he was caught. But in my readings, and it says in this book somewhere, I think, in recollection to another, because this one actually is a really good, great referral book too. Matter of fact, it's in here. Solomon is one of the forces that you can call upon to expel certain demons during a certain time. Very powerful. Yeah, so on my chart, I have the cell salt, the frequency, the body part, the demon, the force of nature that to reckon with those demons, as well as the time of day. Yeah. And I made this chart quite a while ago. But we were not ready for me to really share it like this. Because we want everything like fast food, you know what I'm saying? Just pop it out. And it doesn't go like that. These are things to be felt in the heart, not to be mass produced and popped out. So, language, like the light and dark, that we learn to concentrate on and differentiate. We learn to differentiate by watching light and dark, perhaps on cave walls. We saw letters. And with our intentions, we made shapes. We made life with our intentions, with our heart. What is that? It is what you say it is, my love. It is what you say it is from your heart and from what is being able to pull from out of your mind. But this is a conception. It's a marriage. It's a marriage. And without the Most High being at the top of that, we'd be seeing all crooked-eyed and stuff. We'd be like, you know what I'm saying? We'd be seeing what we want to see. Okay? And it ain't right because we're governed by these other energies here. So the guiding factor, what does the Most High do? Like a parent, consider us and put us first. Until their ways. That was another picture I drew. A double blade, the mouth, the intention. There's our letters, the English language, and our numbers. This is before I realized the extent of what I was actually researching. It was coming through my subconscious, and I was trying to handle it, get rid of it. Our dirty little mouths. Or we could be like ninjas. What? What'd you say about my mama? Gotta cut you now. What? Uh-oh. Okay, so this is some research from years ago. I really love studying with this guy, Dan Winters. It's called Golden Meme Info. Golden Meme Info. The solution to natural centripetal wave nature of mind and consciousness is also the implosive solution to 0-point energy infusion. You know, I suggest for you to go and download this. He actually gives this research for free. Okay, it's the connectivity. What I know doesn't mean anything if I'm standing next to somebody who has no idea. I'm just like, you know, changing the consciousness is part of transmuting the energy. Flame in mind, fractal conjugate, longitudinal wave mechanics, and shaman's attention, making the L into a dream death ancestral collective plasma body. Taking words and changing them into forms in the mind where you can change it into energy, and you can see how this actually works. So all I'm trying to do right now is make those particular connections with you so that you can see that these are energy vortexes. I left my thing upstairs. I had my little tiny whiteboard and everything. I was removed from my space. Oh, here we go. All right, so this is a book I originally had started out with over 10 years ago. Do you see the picture on the front? The body. So, we have been fed this, and my interpretation of the body and being able to attach myself to connect with those energies in the body was through this, through being taught this, through looking for the missing things that were hijacked from our ancient cultures and systems. and other people's cultures so that I could find my stuff again and connect to our parts. They used terminology that was segmented. They used terminology that when I went to advance myself would make me seem foolish, would make things not connect, would show me how very segmented things is. And so that's why I ended up on a journey to actually make sense out of it for myself. Like, how can I share something with you and I don't believe it or know why it's going on myself? So I started sharing with you my journey, what I was going through and how I was putting certain things together and why I was choosing to put my research together in this particular way. And healing, there's many different systems that use different symbols and different techniques and things like that. But what I'm finding to be most true is through studying with master teacher Montechia, is that to concentrate is to cut out all the other frequencies. And I want a straight line, like when Dan Winters talks about the Faraday cage and Elon Musk and his Faraday cage and how he was able to start a fire, how shaman, okay, how in my research, that's one of the biggest, a shaman has to be able to start a fire, right? In my research, the pharaoh had to be able to do certain things. It's fascinating me, like, that you can actually do. In my research, I saw that there were actually people who could actually really do things. I think the guy's name was Dynamo Jack. I'm not sure. This guy used to be able to start fires with his hands. He's a healer, very humble. And I remember researching him many years ago too, when I'm studying at the Resistance. It was one of the people that was brought to our attention from the 7. So in my journey, I find that what Montechia said is true. That is the concentration. When you can cut to the straight line, if I'm trying to heal my heart or my intestines, if I can recall what they look like, that's better for me. Okay? I'm erasing all the other stuff and I'm just concentrating on what that looks like, and I'm sending my healing frequency to that, not to the middleman. And then to me, although I can, that's a little bit more tricky because now the frequency is not streamlined straight to you. It's you know, it's on some angles, it's doing some stuff here. You know, it's losing the relay just a wee bit, you know. But this is how I initially came upon chakras. But when I did my further and deeper research, I learned that that's not what this is. And it was okay with me that everybody's calling it chakras, because I had already shared with you. We already shared with you. We already shared with you. Okay? Relax. What are you, God? Relax. We're all going to learn. We're all going to laugh at you. But we're all going to learn how to change it into energy. And it wasn't just this format, and this one teacher could teach me that. Because what I was searching for with my research was the ability to heal, to transform and transmute energy. Even if it was a bad relay, you know, messed up way the information is coming at us, you know, and the anger and the frustration that we're dealing with while that's happening. It's like, looking for the truth, and these people are supposed to be telling me the truth, and they're so stuck on their truth, and it's not even the freaking truth. It's only part of the truth. And they want me to be respect that. It's just crazy. What a person has to go through in this world of men, and all of them think they know exactly what they're supposed to be talking about. All of them. And everybody wants to be the boss with the big kahunas. But the Most High needs the humble that are willing to actually get egg on your face in order to help others. In order for us to get this right, you got to be willing to make mistakes, to wobble a little bit, okay, to look silly. You got to be willing to be a wife, a bride, a brother or a sister. You know, we're the ones that are scratching their booty and picking our nose and growing and missing parts and changing to love ourselves. Yes, we're fantastic. Yes, we're fantastic. Allow yourself to be fantastic. Allow your brother and sister to be fantastic and to work their vector. Each one of us is a zodiac sign on this vector. So I made cards. That made this a lot easier. I don't know why I didn't just think of that initially, but the Most High keeps telling me, Regina, don't worry about it, because we're still in the situation where we're taking the foolish things, taking the profane and the wise things and making them look foolish in order to get the message out. Your brothers and sisters actually know that you know what you're talking about, and they realize your intention. Okay? So we don't have to be perfect. That's not what this is about. This is for real people. Okay? I made these cards. These cards are comprised of the information on this chart. So this is Lunar, Aries, Virgo. Can you figure out what this is? Oh man, I want my little thing. I want to show you. I wish I had something to turn these cards for you while I ran upstairs like another one of me. Ran upstairs to go get this item that I have in my head that I want for you. Much love, family. Much love. I'm so glad you're here with me. Get our update. What? 11. What is that? I'm not going to run upstairs and get that for the sake of props. But I will show you. Well, maybe I will. Do I really want to do that? I'll tell you what this is first. This is something that I was trying to figure out, that I have this spinner. The spinner. You know, the spinners to help you relax. I got this little fancy spinner. Fidget spinner. Okay? And on it is a zodiac. So one side is the zodiac, and then the other side is also a zodiac. And what it does is it's a mirror. So it shows you your shadow, like your opposing sign, which is also interesting too, because it depends on what system that you're looking at, but we're not going to go there. So on this thing, the opposing sign of Aquarius is Scorpio. So I get to see myself, and I get to see my shadow self through my card. Okay? This is part of my medicine, my media sign, my Siren Buddha Safa medicine. This is Leo, and this is Taurus. So you would get to see yourself and your shadow self, which is still yourself. There's 6 signs. 12 if you want to remain segmented. But there's actually just one, just like there's one creator. Like we all want to be so special, you know, and we are. Just like each one of these is an organ. And don't mess it up because your body is not going to run without that ish. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to run the same. You need that. We need each other. However, we need each other. Your heart ain't running by itself. Neither are your arms or your nose or your eyes. It's not running by itself. And the brain is not experiencing by itself because we have our senses to help us out with that. It just can't experience. You can't live alone. We need each other. My Aquarius, your Taurus ain't feeling nothing without its Leo. Okay? So that's when I ended up with 6 cards, as I realized that doing the shadow self work, the opposites. Now there's more than these, but we're talking about these. There's more oppositions in the world, yes, yes. But in regards to the body, the way this is helpful, when I get someone who is confused about what is going on, I can literally, from my research, take and see this Gemini and the Cancer as twins. They are twins. They're astrological twins. What are they doing as opposites? It's telling me that celestially these twins are fussing with their own doggone self. So one has the moon phases and the other one has the 2 faces. And then they're the same person. The heart and the hands. So on a fractal level even, when we look at ourselves as vectors or sections of the body, we get to see the astrological energies, okay? Formerly named as, this is getting weird in the conscious community is getting very weird. If I say chakra, well, my teacher just inky come running out of nowhere and just like pop up like, I told you there's no chakras. Gosh darn it, stop it. He's taking on the entire world. I'm just gonna go with, you guys can call it chakras if you want. I know what the freak you mean. Just like when somebody spells something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a deeper meaning, interpretation, you know, and there's always something deeper to apply, right, to these lessons. We're always, that's what we're here for, to find another dimension and other aspects of it, to refine ourselves. Thought forms, yes, and the mental alchemist. It all starts with a thought, yes, yes. Family, I got a new Cash App, but I don't know it. I wrote it down, and it's upstairs. I do apologize. You know, it's just most important. I know I whine a little bit sometimes because, you know, I do want to shift my reality, you know what I'm saying, into another sector. But then I realized that all things happen for a reason. Energy never dies, it only transforms. And I realized that I actually did something when it comes to breaking curses. Oh yeah, back to the spirituality and giving ourselves over to little G's. And yo, I had my time. The things that we do and the places that we learn from, the hard lessons. When Jesus was here, from that system, I'm going to use, because I'm talking to the world now. Not everybody calls the Most High Son Jesus, okay? He was the Son, though, okay? He was definitely carrying the light and intellect and all those essences of what we deem Jesus is, was definitely walking in the same way that you are an accumulation of energies from a particular vector. Your date of birth allowed you to have these astrological energies born under a particular sign during a certain time, during a certain time of the year. That gave you a particular energy, a slice, a vector. And we're all together, all these energies together here on the planet as a body, making this clock work. And as learning about our bodies, the consciousness, the awareness that will change the energies. When we learn that controlling our bodies, just like the monk and the person who meditates, the priest, the shaman, the person who knows how to transmute counterproductive energies and make it work for them, to do the medicine. Hurt people only hurt people. And still that'll be beneficial to the Most High. Call it what you may. You can get with this or you can get with that, but you're going to put in that work to the one and only. And what do you think those other lower G's are doing? They're helping us work and have our experience on this clock, and everybody is getting their fill from it in some particular way, working together, you know. What are you putting in to the mix? So these are the cards, and I'm able to see opposing forces. This is Aries. Large intestine, the Lamb. The counterpart, oh, he's number 1. And the counterpart, Virgo, the maiden. The maiden and the Lamb. 2 o'clock is the Virgo, who is the maiden, and Aries is 6 o'clock. Number 1, the Lamb. See, it's much easier for me to be able to see these energies here. And then I have my chart. And so Ruach on Aries, or the Lord, he causes headaches and is dispatched by the word Michael in prison, Ruach. That's the opposing force to that particular deacon. And the node is C, a C node. C node is not money. And that's as it goes down, each one of these has 3 demons. Each sign, each astrological sign has 3 of these deacons. Okay? And they each have something else that can dissipate or cancel out the energy. Which got me thinking, even if I'm not looking at it from this system of these angels, and you look at the different systems around the world, like Ifa and Obu, my pronunciation. When you look at the different systems, African systems, Indian systems, Hindu systems, look at the different systems, and they have different terminologies for the little g's, or for deities they call God. Each one has changed its name and interpretation. Can vary, but the essence of that deity, whatever, remains the same. And a lot of the symbolism can be traced, and that's how you can also do an overlay. Tracing energies and how each culture has given them some kind of a physical body, you know, even if it wasn't, they were actually physical, but gave an interpretation of a physical body of what that entity might look like a Nomo or something like that, you know. which led me into Earth history, the counter, not the Earth history that we know, but the real Earth history that they're not normally teaching us, which I learned from different things. And that's when you can start to get the relevance of these astral energies, when you start learning about outer world interference and bloodlines and mating and what different people around the world depict as the bloodline of Jesus, or the Dracu, or the Uru, you know, or the Anaki, the Sibyls. You start running into the reasons why they started changing the names and defacing architecture, and how our ancestors knew how to tap into the grid to make energy flow, and how when they took knowledge they knew how to destroy grids and put up phalluses and just do different things in order to make the energy of the actual planet to utilize certain forces, or make energy counterproductive, or make you not be able to have it so you can't tap into it like you want to. And so this all goes with, you know, the history of the war and Moorish history, the color black, the changing the language, the map being upside down and backwards, like I was saying when I first started out. The left and right hemisphere of the brain, language, the double-edged sword thing, you know, and how the duality and even the energy to all that itself as a vector, as a node, as a cross reference, as a place to be able to concentrate and tap into particular energies. Okay? That when you get into certain types of meditations and things like that. I was thinking of Farsight and how they do the government thing where you can see, it's like lucid dreaming, but it's not lucid dreaming. It's like astral travel, but it's not astral travel. And I can't think of the exact name right now. But even when they go to be able to look at what other people are doing with their minds and stuff like that, they can only do it by getting a code. You know, somebody gives them a code, and then they look in and they and see from their insides. They're given a code, a coordinate on a map, and then they're able to go there with their mind and retrieve information and pictures and stuff like that of whatever is going on within that sector. Okay? That's how locked into the grid and stuff like that we are unconsciously. Just want to make sure that there's nothing else that I want to Yeah, so that's a lot of pie. That's a lot of, it's a lot of slices. It's a lot of information. But basically, each vector allows you to tap into so much. There's so much here. It's condensed. Um, and what I found is after you learn, it's just like information. After you learn this little section right here, um, it opens up this section right here. And after it opens up this section right here, it opens up this, you know what I'm saying? And it just, it gets more expansive, you know? So, like, it's wild. The heart is what I use as my guide. That I want to be in alignment more with the Most High than I do with wanting to impress you. I want to make it clear that there's a higher authority speaking through me. And that my deepest desire is that higher authority from my passenger consciousness be that it's something helpful and beneficial to all of us. Because hurt people, and I no longer want to be someone acting out. I'd much rather be the wounded healer, like the shaman, to be able to use my experiences and my pain and my observations to be able to be a help and not a hindrance. In my fractal world, I don't want to be the person yelling about how everybody is messed up. But I don't take the time to believe that I can fix me and not be one of them. So I put my work in so that I can be the next best thing standing next to you. Because my deepest desire is to have the next best thing standing next to me. So we can put our work in to fix things. Like, there's nothing worse than feeling like you're waking up and there's nobody there like you, and you're just so loving and giving and smart, and you want to do all these different things and yada yada yada. Well, how smart and loving and giving are you then? And give it all away so that they'll have some too, so that you could be standing next to you, since all is self. Since all is self, and I want to give to myself, then I can pour in, right? Put my work in. So that's all I'm doing. I want you to see that you're me, and the Most High wants me to realize that I'm you. It's what I want for myself, I want for you. And all the complaint that I have about the conscious community, then I should put my work in and fix that. No, I'm not going to vote, because to me that's a form of adultery. I'm not going to vote for a president. I'm just going to put my work in and be my own little president right here and now. Because we're looking for that dude to do something for us. I already foresee it ain't going to happen. The best thing we can do is be the best thing that we can do for each other. To believe in each other. To realize our own value. And that we're each a part of the bigger picture. Fussing with ourselves. Fighting ourselves. So these people that learn to control their own bodies are the ones that are able to slow down their heart rate, control their thoughts, gather their emotions, fix the energy, and not just sit in the crap and be helpless, but actually change and transmute the energy by using universal principles that only the Most High, only when the Most High is in the mix, selflessness for self, realizing that all is self. Like, the egg on the face thing. My face, your egg, my egg, your face. It's the same-ish. You just don't see it yet. Okay? And in the same way that I learn, I update and then you learn. If I mess up, that energy is there, and you're messed up too. So there's a lot of us now, I'm just grateful that are putting in the work to do better. Um, that guy, Bill Harper, that I showed you with the Hebrew alphabet, check him out. Just like the clock. You know how we do these symbols, there's sound that's attached to the particular vectors as well. And that also goes into healing. For instance, dough. You saw some of the things that I posted on my Facebook wall have directly to do with symbology and healing and this grid and the way that we perceive it, whether it's through color, sound, um, or symbol. It vibrates a frequency, just like your name, your very name. I was thinking of the C note. C-E-G. Do, mi, so. My notes be falling out. I got to put all my notes back in wherever they were. I had notes everywhere. Okay. Oh, there we go. I have an entire box of things that I'm not ready to talk about with you. You know what I'm saying? Yep, there we go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, formerly identified as chakras, the vectors, which were affected by sound. And it goes into the same thing. It's fascinating. This is an example of what I mean. Now, we're going to take Hindu and red. This is their information I got from their, and this backwards to you right now. But their stuff on the frequency reads different as far as the letter. As far, like they do lam, vam, ram, yam, ham, sham, that attach to symbols and deities. But then if you do the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, that has frequencies. And then if you do same thing. Do you see how some of these change? Okay. Where I got the little checks at? Depending on what system, you start to see even the letters and the frequencies start to fluctuate and change around. Okay? And that's why I started making, it was like reality. You know those movies where the reality kind of, it be shifting and you could tell like the reality's changing, where they show like the wobble. Okay, it got to be like that. I'm like, I was doing these charts, and I'm like, I know doggone well that belongs there. But then it was like, okay, so why is that color not where it's supposed to be, or that symbol not where it's supposed to be if I switched? And then it just got wild. And that's when I started seeing that things were upside down and backwards, and you know what I'm saying, there was a little twist to it, and that if you didn't have further knowledge about certain things, you weren't going to be able to unlock that you had to wait until further along to get another piece of information if you wanted something about this. It was just the interconnectedness is what I saw, like the C note, the chord, the interconnectedness, the conception, the recollection, the chord. Okay. And how things change. I drank this delicious juice the other day that I called cold fusion. And when I drank it, I felt a wobble in the inside, just like those movies where the person goes through some kind of time vortex and they show it defined through like you know, like a woo. You could see that on they maybe make a sound or whatever, but they'll make that thing where you could see the ripples. You know, it's apparent that something happened. You know, that's how I felt on the inside. And when you look at the energy vortexes or the astral energies, the astral energies, the information that we turn into energy in our bodies, food. Okay, it all starts with a thought, whether it's food for thought or actual food, the notion to grab a food that turns into energy. It makes a difference within that field. When you're feeling sick, it affects these fields around your body that we call an aura. Now that may be subject to change because somebody wants to change it too. But right now we still have a lot of literature that says defining things by certain terminology. And it's our duty to evolve past our ignorance and to a place that's user friendly and comprehensible, accessible to all people who want to develop themselves into better people, to be the next best person standing next to the next best person, to give us a chance here. You know what I'm saying? There's these fields around our body that could be changed by the things that we do, by the people that we are, by what we let in. And these energies have a lot of threads on them, you know? It's not just here and now and what time it is and what's being affected in the body right now. It's what happened before to your great-great-great-great-grandmama. It's ancestral trauma. It's ancestral gifts. It's the joy that gave your grandpa, your great-great-great-great-grandpa joy. It may still be the thing that gives you joy. Like Jung was tapping into that knowledge. These fields that are still attached to us. Etheric energy, some may call it. Ancestral Akash, through your bloodline, that you may have traits of your grandmother, of your great-grandmother. You have memories. And even in the land holds memory, holds emotion, these energy doesn't die, it only transforms itself. It transmutes into another arena, someplace is going to seep out. So we're dealing with energy. It's all energy. It all starts with a thought. It starts as a light code that gets differentiated, gets concentrated on, and then gets brought into life, into existence from our heart. And we grab it with our hands. And the heart calls the hands its enemy, but they're friends. Yeah. I know, because I have a Gemini and a Cancer for daughters that I've been looking at. Like, what is wrong? What is wrong with them? Because I did my research and I was able to see how their energies actually flow with each other. From my life and how crazy my marriage is, I was able to see how the Scorpio is my shadow self. How all the things that I freaking think are ridiculous in him are actually things that I think are ridiculous in myself. Yeah. Go figure. So, you want to control these energies? You want to learn about these energies? What better place than to have them sitting right on your face, huh? Yeah, to be able to identify them and work with them and really be able to see them as energies, as cycles. And so I gave you some tools that you can use, like the planet clock, you know, the planetary clock will tell you the planetary clock will tell you yeah, what planet time it is, which means what energy cycle you're in. Are you bringing in? And that's if you have need to pay attention to that. I'm tuning all that out. I'm telling you now, I'm tuning all that out until I need to take and pay attention to it. Unless it's for, I'm learning it naturally, these cycles. When I get ready to make it like, what I was working on was like, okay, it's 1 o'clock, and at 1 o'clock it's accessible to this giant piece of chunk right here. See what I'm saying? This is this slice of pie. This is this slice of pie. All the way 24 hours, and you can do that. But what I found myself doing was feeling a slave, like a ritual kind of thing, which was taking me out of my natural state of being into it was more like, instead of the tree of life, I was in the tree of knowledge kind of thing. Okay? I'm like aware, and I take it and put it there for the sake of wholeness, for the sake of fixing or transmuting or changing, developing, to be aware of myself. But I watch how much I use it. And I want to use it in a manipulative, counterproductive way. I use it to access medicine, okay, or to make wholeness. So what I do is, like what time of day it is now. I'm going to use this for an example. I started feeling a little different. Definitely moved and shifted into a different space, but I don't know what time it is. It's 5:05. I'm going to check out because I want to know what's up. Okay, so we're in Mars right now. We shifted into Mars. Worst time for discussing, testing people's patience, and jobs, activities requiring concentration and high reasoning. I was feeling that. I felt that shift in energy. I'm an empath, among other things. So, the function is assertion. I'm going to listen to this because I was ready to just like, you know what? We talked. We had our talk. See ya. But before I end this, I just wanted to show how this is pretty accurate, and that's what I learned. So when I feel off and I want to know that, I can use this as medicine. I'm aware that this is what's happening to us. I'm aware that this is accessible for us on many different levels, that I can access these nodes, these cross points of energy, and make them work for me with my heart's intention, putting the Most High first, meaning us, His people that want to help other people, that want to cleanse their energy and change this big freaking madness that we have. The key words for Mars right now is will, courage, adventure, sports, exercise, rush, trial, encounter, insistence, arbor, combat, energy. Best time for accepting challenges and overcoming obstacles. Do you see how that just kind of did the cross there? Because we're gonna push through it, even though I didn't feel like I didn't want to concentrate. I can't. I just obstacles and jobs and activities requiring energy. Okay. However, Mars is quite fiery, and to prevent accidents, actions need to be watched for. The awareness, right? Hurt people, hurt people. Time machine. You could press this and get go back and see what else was going on during this time, like different things that happened at this time years ago, which I really like that. Okay. I forget the name of this app, and my phone is, this one particularly, just so messed up. So, oh, Planetary Times. It's simply called Planetary Times, and that app is actually free. I think that one was free. Mm. This is from preschool. Preschool prodigies. Yeah, I know. Don't laugh. Okay, you can interact with it. Interact with it. Interact with it. It's alive. It's alive. Yes, it's alive. It's live. It's talking, moving around us, through us, for us, with us, or against us, depending on what actions we choose. Tools. Hey, you work. It doesn't want to work. Don't do this to me now. Remember? A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y-I. Hypothetically, metaphorically, infinitely. Wow. I've been having more and more problems with this phone. It doesn't want to work, so I can't. The sound is actually not working. I'm not even going to go there. We're not going to get in that discussion. Anyway, on your phone, maybe it will work. You can download this or even get this as an app, pay for it, and interact with the symbols and the colors and the C note and the G note and the E note, and how that's what I'm, figure out where the vectors are, you know, how to sound, why does sound make you feel certain ways. Um, I was thinking the body of Christ, light body, the Most High's people, um, people of the Most High. Anyway, I'm done. I just wanted to show you that. I wanted to share that with you. It's been a long time. I've been holding on to that part of that. And I gave you some places that you can go and actually further your research and your understanding of this, starting with the body clock, matching up with the zodiac, and then they both have helps and interferences. And that's what I started to chart out as far as energies within these vectors. Much love to you and yours. This is Siren Buddha Medicine. I didn't want to interrupt the feed that I was doing to run upstairs and look for my new PayPal or Cash App. But I really do appreciate you even asking for donations, and I'll get that and put it in there. But I hope that you got a lot out of what I shared, a lot of understanding out of it, because that's going to help us a lot. I think it's fascinating how we're changing. I just think it's fascinating how we're changing and learning, and to go a lifetime, not a lifetime, we're still living, but to God, oh my gosh, oh, man, I'm just like, I'm just so full of joy right now that things are coming together. Things are being exposed. Things are being unveiled. Things are being taught. Things are being understood. And it's all helping me heal. I was the child that was tapped in. And my first poem was, every time I turn around, I see devils come out the ground. I was like 7. I'm going to be 52 in February 2nd. So I am freaking so pleased. So pleased to see this coming together. That our Creator is working through us and pulling all the veils off and snatching stuff out the box. We want our stuff. And we're seeing our stuff. And we're getting our value. We're realizing a value that we already had. And we're seeing what's been going on that we were sleeping on, that they were hiding, advantages that were being taken. So we're realizing how valuable we are and how magical we are, realizing that the magic is how much science and how much wisdom and knowledge that our civilizations had that they just coveted and hijacked from us, that they were sitting on, that it's actually being used to run society today as far as social sciences and so many other things are concerned, medicine, psychology, time travel, quantum physics, what? Religion, spirituality, beauty, clothing, language. To see the conscious community actually stepping out of woke and becoming the conscious community. It's like my birthday. I'm celebrating already. It's not too late because we've been sleeping so long. It's like the tortoise, you know. But I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful that you take time to study. I'm grateful that you take time to exercise your demons, to feed your spirit, to learn and to grow, and to put your spirit in check. I'm so thankful for you. Amen. Much love to you and yours. Ashe, ashe, ashe. To the next best me and you.